So it's been a real pleasure taking this course this summer. I've previously taught courses on Blackboard and I thought I knew quite a bit about it, but I learned that I was really using only about half of what Blackboard has to offer. So this is a little bit of what I've been working on. I teach the student teaching course at the School of Education, and I chose to use that for my sandbox. Because student teachers are very busy, I wanted to make the online component very meaningful, but also easy to navigate and not too time consuming. So as far as my navigation, I have them start here. And this is where I included a welcome video along with my welcome letter. And it has things like important in-class meeting dates. This is a hybrid course, along with the workload and the best way to contact me. And when this course will appear. I sent this welcome letter out already to my students, so it was very helpful. I'm really using this to launch my course for the fall. And then as far as the navigation, my learning units are also on the side. And I chose to build out Module 3, which is Ethics in the Classroom. I found that ethics is such an important piece in teaching that it's not often addressed in teacher education programs, and I really want to weave it throughout the student teaching process. And so I started out with 3 learning goals for the unit. One of them is to identify educational codes of ethics, how these codes can be put into real-world case studies. The second one is to analyze when a situation moves from low risk to high risk and what resources and possible next steps are available. This second learning goal will be addressed online but also in person quite a bit. And number 3 is to be knowledgeable about a variety of character education programs and to identify one program that fits the needs of their particular grade level and classroom. So I have a grid here as far as what they'll be doing for the week and also the due date, so that they can keep track of their assignments. I started out with some basic information on a case for ethics. There's really not much written on teacher ethics. So I've attended quite a few seminars myself, so I'll be going over a lot of information too in class on this, and then providing some reading materials which they can read over here as building on what we covered in class. So as students click into this, they'll be able to see journal articles and a number of things that are helpful for them. All right, so the next thing I want them to do is do a search for existing character education programs, because part of teaching is not just teaching the content, but also teaching students how to be good citizens of the world. And no matter the grade level, they need to include some type of citizenship character education in their classroom. So I'm going to have them start by doing an initial search. If they're already an intern or working at a particular grade level, I also want them to research what their school site or district is doing if they have a particular program. So I gave them a few sites to get started, but then I want them to do a search. There's quite a bit out there, and really find what works with their classroom, with their district, and also with their personality, because some things will work for one teacher and it's not a good fit for another teacher. So you really have to think about what is a good fit for everyone involved, because then they'll be choosing this to write about how they would implement it in their own classroom. Next, they'll be moving on to the assignment portion, and this is where they're going to be doing a discussion board. And I chose case studies that they'll be analyzing and having a discussion about. So they'll be choosing one of the ethical dilemmas, and I tried to make them real world, and talking about how they would respond to this particular ethical dilemma. And using the code of ethics that I provided below, they're going to be citing from one of these sites what code of ethics they're bringing into their decision as they're deciding how to move forward with these ethical dilemmas. So they'll be developing a well-developed solution supported by one of the websites that I provided them. And then they'll be responding to 2 classmates by Sunday, saying whether they agree or disagree with their solution, providing maybe some other codes of ethics they might consider, or some other possible solutions that they hadn't thought about. So this, I've done something similar in the past, and I found it does create a rich discussion. But before, I did not have such a detailed rubric and directions, so this class really helped me to fine-tune this activity that I've previously done. So here is a rubric and directions on how to go to the discussion board. So they can click right on there, and it will take them to the discussion board. The next piece ties into the learning goal related to character education. And this is where they will be selecting a particular character education program for their classroom. They can create their own or use an existing program. But they do need to provide a link if they choose an existing one. And the piece I'm really looking for is a detailed rationale for why it's appropriate for their particular age level and classroom and their personality. Obviously, some character educations are more primary and others would work better in high school. So why does it work well for your particular classroom? So there's a detailed rubric there and a place for them to submit their assignment. The assessment piece that I wanted to include was mandated reporter training. And the state of California actually just launched quite a comprehensive program where students can go through learning units as a self-paced assessment. And then they take an assessment at the end where they need to pass with 80% or higher. And then they receive certification. So this is a free resource, and it's something I'm going to start mandating that all of my students complete in student teaching, and I think it will be a good asset for them, first of all, to be knowledgeable, but also they can include this on their resume as they're looking for jobs that they've completed mandated reporter training through the state. And so I provided a link for them. They do get a verification certification when they passed the assessment, and then they can submit that verification to me through this assignment link. So that's an overview of my unit. Thank you again for a wonderful summer class. I really enjoyed it and I've learned a lot. Thank you so much. Bye.